Hey guys, today I want to talk about borrowed chords, or chord borrowing, or modal borrowing if you want to be more formal, or even more formal, modal interchange. Basically, all of these things mean the same thing, and it means that we write a chord progression, and in that chord progression we use chords from a different mode of the same key. So in this example, what we're looking at right now is two different scales in the same key, mainly C, and we have a C major scale right here, and then we have a C minor scale right here, and they sound like this. Let's first do the C major, which is of course all the white notes on the piano, and then we have a C minor here. Now, if we start to harmonize the scale, in other words, if we start to fill out the chords of each of the scale steps, we get these chords for C major, and I'll just mute these guys. So that's going to be a C major chord right there, and then we have a D chord, then we have an E chord, an F, etc. So this is how we fill out the chords within a scale, and now we know all of the notes that are within that scale. Now that's for the C major, and then here we have C minor. And what we get to do with modal borrowing is we get to choose chords from a different mode, and we can think of this C minor scale as a different mode of this C major scale. So let's start with an easy example, and we'll just make a chord progression like so. And let's stick with our C example. So I'm going to write a C note, of course, and then we'll just write a C major chord, which will sound like this. Beautiful, right? And let's copy that 4 times. Now, let's say we want to first start with a regular progression. What we're going to do is, since we're in C major, we get to choose all the white notes of the piano. So let's go with a 3 chord next, which would be the E. So it's going to be like that. And then let's maybe go to an F chord, which would be an F, an A, and a C, like that. And actually, I'm going to make this progression. Oh, actually, it's fine. We're just going to use 4 chords, and then we'll end with a C again, which it already is. So this is a very regular progression right now. So that sounds good, but boring. So what we can do is we can start to spice up these chords a little bit by choosing a chord from the C minor mode. So for example, this E chord that we have here, which is a 3 chord, right now it's a minor chord, but let's see what happens if we make that a major chord, like so. It still works, and it sort of has this spicy character. We can invert this, or not invert it, but drop the B an octave. So this suddenly gives us a lot of options. We now choose a chord that's from the C minor scale rather than C major. Let's do a different example. Let's again copy this. So now we have 4 C major chords, and let's go with a 4 chord in the second position, which will be this. This is an F chord. It has an F, an A, and a C, and it's a major F chord. If we want to make this a minor F chord, we just drop that A to a minor third interval. Let's see if that works. That sounds pretty cool, right? It's spicy, and the reason this works is because we're familiar with the C minor sound, and our ears can relate to this chord. We can, like, at first it's a little bit of a surprise, but then you can very quickly realize, all right, this is just a minor chord from the same scale. So we can get away with quite a lot. Now I should note at this point that for this video today, I'm only borrowing chords from the C minor scale, but if you want to get more advanced advanced with this, you can basically choose chords from any other mode of C. So it could be C major, it could be C Dorian, it could be C Phrygian. Look up modes if you haven't encountered that topic before, and this is really going to give you a lot of possibilities here. So let's actually quickly finish this progression. Maybe we can go back to a C again, and then here we can do a G chord, and let's do a G, just a regular G chord, maybe like so. Very familiar sounding progression, even though it uses something quite unique here. Now, after this, we can continue this, and we could also use this to completely modulate. So right now, we can call this a temporary modulation, because we sort of modulate to a different key just for one chord, but we can continue doing this. So one thing that we could do, for example, also a very common thing to do, is to, rather than after this G, which is the 5 of the scale, we can go back to a C minor rather than a C major, and then we can have a full modulation. We can just stay within that key, and then we've just modulated to the minor version of the same scale, so something like this maybe. Right, so that is a very basic example, and then here I have a little bit more of a song. So let's take one look at this progression as well. So here again we start in C major, and then here we go to a minor 3 chord. So this actually has 2 notes differently. If I put this in root position, we can see we have an E flat here, and we have a G, and we have a B flat, and this is actually the major 3rd chord from the minor C minor scale. So if I had a regular 3rd chord in C major, it would sound like this. Right, but now we make that the minor 3rd. That's a cool sound, right? This is a very familiar one. I believe it's used in films a lot. I recognize this from one of those great Lord of the Rings scores. But now we have a major 1, then we have a minor E, and then here this chord is within the scale. Like with C, it's very easy, because every note that is like a black note, that's going to be outside of the scale. So this one is inside the scale, all white notes. This one as well, this one as well, this one as well. And then here again, we go to a F minor chord, and we can see that A flat there, that's actually not in the scale. So let's listen through this whole progression. And of course, this works with our melody notes as well. So I have a little bit of a pad here, pad sound. And if we show these two together, this is the melody line, and you can see that it starts on a C, then it goes to the major 3rd, and then it drops down a half step to that E flat, beautiful sounding. Then it goes G, A, this is all within the scale, within the key. And then here again, we have sort of a unique note. So let's listen to these two together. So it can sound very good, and this is a technique to experiment with. I've only scratched the surface with this one, because like I mentioned before, we cannot only choose the minor scale to borrow from, we can choose any other mode, and that is what I would advise to start practicing with today, if you are lucky enough to have some time to practice with music. All right, guys, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in another video.